Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to walk you through writing a blog post using Jasper. Formerly, it was called Jarvis. I've done a similar video on writing a blog post with Writer that I think I'm going to actually update because I've just gotten better at using these AI tools. And I will say it does take some time. It's not like a super, you don't go in and hit some buttons and all of a sudden you have an awesome blog post. But I am going to show you some tricks that I've learned that will help. So generally speaking, I like to start with an outline that I create myself. You can have Jasper create outlines. Most AI tools will do this. And then there are recipes here that I've saved, but there's all sorts. You can go and find recipes. But I'm going to take one of these recipes and I'm going to, hit run. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do Canva free versus Canva paid. So what it does here, it's going to ask you to provide it some information, and then down here are commands of what it's going to do. So the product is Canva, and the feature is, all right, so all you have to do here, and then you're kind of having to go, the one thing I don't like about this is you do have to go in and like fill in the blank everywhere. So the keyword I'm doing is, Canva free versus Canva paid. You can just copy and paste this. So this is using a recipe, right? And there's a lot of great recipes out there, like I said. So all you do is you hit Command Enter once you highlight that that command, basically. So and it gives me some different things. And I actually really like this one, which is better for bloggers and online business owners. Canva free or paid. So I'm going to make this my H1 and delete this stuff. And then we're going to, oops. And again, so let's check out what it's giving us. It's actually not bad. I would maybe add a little bit to it. So this command is Ada, and that's a copywriting thing where it's, I'm trying to remember what Ada stands for. Oh, I think it's like agitate, identify. It's a whole thing. Look up Ada, Google will tell you what it is. Oh, attention, interest. There we go, gave us some info. And you can see it started, but then it didn't quite finish because I only have like a medium output length set. So what I can do here is I can just hit Command J to keep it going. Okay, so that is actually pretty good. And it's, this is kind of giving different options for how we want to start out this post. I kind of like this, the Ada version, better. So I'm going to make that my introduction paragraph. Okay, this is going to be an H2. And passes problem, agitate, solution. So this is, I already like the paragraph I've got going, so I'm going to let that go. So the reason I want to put this here is because it will look above for information. So it's using what's already written to help, except from here. So these three dots tell it to ignore what's above here. And this is just kind of our go-to reference point as to put into this recipe. So I'm going to keep it going. And Jasper is doing its best to write based on what it thinks you want. So it is not a fact checker, and you will need to do that. Particularly, it'll spit out things that aren't necessarily true. It doesn't spit out plagiarized content that I found. I do always recommend running any AI generated copy through a plagiarism checker, and I'll show you how to do that. But generally speaking, like, some of this just isn't true. So let me see here. Get rid of that. Some of this is a bit repetitive, so I'm actually going to try. So I'm actually gonna, let me see. I'm gonna get rid of what it wrote. And I'm going to do, I'm gonna tell it to ignore this because it was writing like the same thing. And that's actually pretty good. I actually really like that. All right, so let's do this. Oh, that is not giving me what I want. And the reason it's doing this is because it's trying to match sort of the type of formatting that you've put in before. So we're gonna actually, let me undo. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. And get rid of this as well. So hopefully it'll better match the. It's not. Okay, so another way we can do this is by using boss mode. And we're going to have it generate a paragraph. Okay? And we're going to say, I'm going to go here. Free. And we're going to go ahead, I'm going to copy this in here so that it gives me some info and the benefits. Okay? And you can do like any tone of voice. I saw someone do like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, and yes, it spit out "I am Groot" repeatedly. But if there's certain sort of tones of voice you want, you can try it. So it's gonna spit out two things, and I think I've got it. Yeah, I think I've got it where I want. All right, so it really just did like the same thing. Okay, let's try getting rid of this. And sometimes you have to play around with it, and that's okay. But like I said, it really is, the more you know how to use it, the better content it will create and the less time you'll have to spend editing later on. So I actually haven't been in here in almost a month. I think my previous was like 24 days ago. It said that I generated stuff. So I feel like the more you use it, the faster and faster you'll get. And I should really be in here more, creating more content. It is just not creating stuff I want. Okay, wait, maybe. Now, I will say one of the things I learned by going through Jasper's like tutorials is that you're gonna want to adjust a lot of every time you use this, you're gonna want to adjust it, like for each paragraph. Let's see what this one spits out for me. Okay, so we're getting closer. So maybe if I change this to be see if this helps. All right, so this is actually a lot closer to what I want. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go in here. Okay, so that's like a good thing. So I've kind of got overall pros here. It's a little weird that it see what it comes up with, even though I didn't give it a whole lot to work with. I actually need to double check that, but right. But this is a good start to a blog post. It's not very long yet, but again, it's just the start, okay? So I've already got some frequently asked questions right here that I'm going to put in here. And I'm not going to keep that part in here, the Canva Free Pro, but I'm adding it so that this knows what it's like, what I want it to answer. It gives it more context. Okay, that's not really giving me the answer I want. Oh, helps if I actually put in the question. All right, guys. So this took me less than 30 minutes. I think on the clock I'm at like 26 minutes. I've got 1,000-word first draft of this blog post. There's a little bit I'm gonna, work on and add in here. Plus, I'll need to create my graphics. I'll be using Canva. But like, it really wasn't that hard. It didn't take that long. How long does it currently take you to draft 1,000-word blog post first draft? I mean, I'm gonna go in here and expand on some stuff for sure, but it's pretty quick. So, my biggest tip when it comes to using Jasper, oh, actually, first of all, I'm going to run it through the plagiarism checker. So they actually have a built-in one here. You can also use Grammarly. You can connect Grammarly if you have a premium account, because Grammarly has a plagiarism checker. I don't have a premium Grammarly account currently. I've had it in the past. It's great. But it doesn't cost much. So I threw I don't know, $15 in here or something. And so this many words, it's going to cost me about 13 cents to see if it's plagiarized. So we're going to have it go ahead and do that just to make sure we're good. Awesome. Nothing found. Perfect. The biggest thing when you're using any AI tool would be to know how it works, right? So it was popping out some stuff I didn't like, and I tried a few different things, and finally, I just wrote a little bit myself, and it kind of picked it up from there and did much better. So, if it's not producing something that you like, it could be because you're not giving it the input it needs. So with any AI tool, learn how it works, follow their getting started guide or whatever. The 30 minutes to an hour you'll spend doing that will be time saved 10 times over for every piece of content you create with the tool. Because otherwise I would have to be spending probably a lot more time creating a draft that was workable. So just keep that in mind. And this, this is how you create a blog post with Jasper. There's so many different recipes. Okay, yeah, so community.jasper.ai, and you will see a ton of recipes. So this is a blog post, and it's sorted by most popular, but there's certainly newest, and there's all sorts, guys. So all the recipes that I have in my account, I've gotten from the community recipes. Like, they're fantastic. And a lot of them include videos of how to use the recipe. So watch it before you just dive in, right? And then, like, this one's just like helpful commands. So when you're figuring out what commands to write, because you can basically tell Jarvis what you want it to do, which is one of the cool features that I haven't found in other AI tools just yet. I'm experimenting with a lot of them because there's so many out there. But yeah, long form content, like, so you just would download it and it would add it to your Jasper account. And Jasper does, I think it's like a 10,000 word free trial that you can sign up for anywhere. I might be able to even, hold on, I bet there's like a share with friends thing. Oh yeah, so I can give you a referral link, and you'll get 10,000 credits, as will I. If you want to do it that way, or just go to Jasper and sign up to test it out. They have gotten a lot more affordable. So when I first looked at Jasper, I kind of was like, this is great, but I don't want to spend, it was well over $100. It was like $110, I think, a month to do boss mode, which allows you to do the long form content meaning blog posts. But they've gotten a lot more affordable, where they heard that people didn't want to pay that much. And so it's like $60 a month, which is not cheap, but I mean, in less than a half an hour, I have 1,000 word draft, right? If you spent 2 hours every day and you came up with 4 blog post drafts, did that twice a week, that's writing 8 pieces of content a week. And that's in 4 hours, which is pretty huge. It's a big time saver. So definitely check it out. And I hope this was helpful in helping you figure out how to use Jasper.